Okay, welcome back to our Morning Shot 2021. I'm Joseph Joestar 316, taking over hosting duty for just a little bit. I am joined by Danflesh, who is going to be running the next game, Dark Souls Remastered. All bosses. Because
Yep.
after all, why is it? it's not hard enough. You got to do all the bosses. But let's see. Let me just make sure this thing is playing. We're on the right layout, and there we go. So fingers crossed. Let's see. Did I
Yep.
break anything? And I did. Okay. All right. So just a second. Work with me here. Trying to get this to run. So I'm gonna say play run.
Dark Souls is even hard to set up.
Yeah, go figure. I mean, it just I don't know, knowing me and tech issues. I mean, it's a community joke where I just seem to cause issues wherever I go, especially when Platonic Guy and I race. All right, so once again, play run. I can't tell if it's actually playing it or not. Well, let me try one more time. All right, let's see. Fingers crossed. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I wonder. Oh, I think I know what the issue is. Okay, I gotta change the slug. Play it. All right, fingers crossed. Yeah, there we go. All right, it's my
Insane.
bad. Yeah, this is coming from our EU RTMP server, which is something I neglected to note in my run setup. But all right, Danflesh, sorry for that, and as well as everyone watching, thanks for your patience. But Danflesh, you can take it away from here. Best of luck to you, and 10 out of 10 character name, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so have fun.
Thank you. So at least I want to have something related to Metal Gear in this speedrun. So I'm Danflesh. I did speedrun Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain at some points in time. So I was invited there to show the run that was accepted as a backup run for AGDQ Online 2021, which is Dark Souls Remastered all bosses. So there are a couple of things to mention to begin with, like the starting class and gifts. We use Thief and Fire Bombs because this is the optimal combination of items that we get from the starting class, and also the Black Fire Bombs are going to be very useful pretty much the whole game for us. So timer will start, let's say when I press OK. It doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, 3, 2, 1, go. So first thing to mention is that Dark Souls is using in-game timer, which we are obviously not using for a marathon, but there are going to be some strats that are slower real-time wise, but faster IGT wise. So don't mind that. It's because every time you load in on a character, in the main menu, in-game time on the save file doesn't go. And quitting out in this game allows you to do a lot of different interesting things. Not only reset enemies' positions and aggro, but also allows you to do certain glitches and stuff. So the first boss is a Xylem Demon. As you can see, that's a wider demon with a belly. Dies in 5 Black Fire Bombs. That's one of the main reasons why we take Black Fire Bombs as the main gift. Very difficult boss, by the way. So there, we start as a thief, as I mentioned, and we have Bandit's Knife and Target Shield. Bandit's Knife isn't that great of a weapon, to be honest, but it will do for our purposes. So there, I'm gonna do the first RTA unfriendly strat. I'm gonna quit out next to this wall. Actually, I might have quitted. I did quit out a bit too far away. No, it's fine. So we break the wall with the power of our shoulders. We talk with an NPC, and I'm also using a mouse keyboard for that section because we actually do use mouse mouse scroll wheel to skip the dialogues because it's faster. It does save just around like 3, 4, 5 seconds maybe throughout the whole run, but it's useful. So we talk with the NPC, he gives us the key to exit Asylum. There I did quit out on the door as well, RTA and friendly strat, but in-game time it saves time. And now it's time for Peach strats for Marathon. I pick up this soul, and we'll use it very soon. And why I'm doing that, because the fastest route that is used like for a world record, for example, is very unsafe marathon-wise. So we want to avoid that, at least. So we'll do a couple things that are primarily different from world record run, let's say. So I did pick up that soul to dupe it very early on. We're gonna do it, and we will buy some neat stuff that will help us a bit later on. Go through the fog gates. I move my soul on top there to make the dupe more convenient. And dupe is gonna be quite complicated to explain. We're gonna dupe 4 times in this run. We're gonna dupe souls, and dupe will allow us to get a lot of souls in no time, pretty much. The way how it works is that Miyazaki magic. So we buy throwing knives. So this is a Peach thing to do. We buy throwing knives, we buy the key and arrows. That's basically the main thing we have to do in order to achieve the Peach strats. Now we do the skip. That also involves quitting out to store position where we need it to be stored. So we jump on this fence, then we use R2 attack with the left hand, and boom, we boost from the railing at the very bottom. We can't really access this area yet without parkour, but we go there to save the NPC that sells magic. That's a very useful NPC, and let's hope we don't get killed by the dogs, because it's RNG. There is always a high chance to die there, because after we fall in the Slowerburg area, we immediately lose half of our health, and that doesn't help. These dogs deal a lot of damage, and they're just annoying. So I also, as you can see, I keep quitting out in different places. I mostly do it there to get rid of the enemy aggro. So I make sure that these dogs don't pursue me like all over the place, because otherwise I would be dead in no time in the Slowerburg area. Here we open the door, get the gold pine resin. Gold pine resin is the reason why we actually can use bandit knife for stuff in the speedrun, because bandit knife by itself is a very miserable weapon, believe me. But with the buff of gold pine resin that adds like just flat damage numbers to the weapon, with the very fast attack speed, that makes it pretty deadly for the early game bosses. So first boss, Taurus Demon. That's unfortunate. Kind of straight my last attack, but we just blocked it. Like a true Dark Souls player, using shields to not die. So as you could see, like gold pine resin, like 90% of the damage that I deal per every hit, if not like 99% of the damage, is coming from gold pine resin, not actually a bandit knife. So this is the first thing why we need throwing knives, and this is a Peach strat. So normally you would go pick up this soul without using a throwing knife, and that would involve RNG. Like this Drake has 5 different attacks, and one of them will kill you no matter what. Others would potentially kill you if you don't react fast enough and if you don't get lucky afterwards. So hopefully it's worth it. Dang, I actually got shots there. Yeah, I got hit by a hollow, by an attack that is very easy to strafe. So we'll quit out one extra time just to be safe for a hollow room. So we activate this elevator, we'll need it later to get an access to one of the bosses later on. No, I actually did quit out too early, huh? This Boulder Knight really likes to block you. And this Hollow really likes to block you as well. Fortunately, they didn't. Okay, this Hollow didn't block me either. Pretty good. Okay, so there we do some menuing, we remove some unnecessary stuff. Move some stuff around. And we go to one of the most annoying bosses. Like, early game is by far most annoying part of the run. We're gonna use a cool firebomb strat. Yep. By doing that, we get the tail cut from the gargoyle. That puts gargoyle in a very vulnerable position. Nice. That was very nice fight. That's poggers. Okay, so that's it. We Dark Sign away. We don't ring the bell because that's slow. And now we go to and obtain the... Well, actually, I can maybe explain a bit of a dupe while we do it there. So how does dupe work? Like, I just casually use 999 of souls that I pick up instead of 1. So how does the dupe work is that this game has a quantity prompt, and for some reason the last quantity prompt that you open is kind of stored in the memory, but every time you open the other quantity prompt from an item, it updates it. But if you open the quantity prompt through some menu shenanigans, you can carry over the numbers from the previous item you have tried to drop, for example. In my case, it's arrows. I have 999 wooden arrows. So every time when I try to, like, when I just open the prompt with 999 arrows available to drop, and then I do activate, like, the double menu, it's a glitch that at the same time runs, like, 2 separate menus. And I try to use the soul. Instead of opening, like, availability of using 1 soul, I can choose from 1 to 999. And that's an ultimate cheating, as you can imagine. You speedrunners are cheaters. So we're gonna dupe 4 times and we will get pretty damn overpowered by the end of the run. Also, like in the world record route, you don't have arrows yet. And for example, at the beginning, I duped 99 souls even though I had no arrows. And that has to do with the default value of the prompt. That after loading screen or the quit outs, you can select from 0 to 99. And by doing that, like, you can do 99 of souls without anything involved, really. So there we buy spells, we buy important rings, and we buy Sorcerer Catalyst to actually cast magic. There again, I'm looking at the arrows, I'm getting the double menu, like you can see on the background the menu. Then I do some menu shenanigans and I'm able to use 999 souls again. So there we drop some unnecessary stuff that we have. We're good to go. We are going to do one of the most convenient sequence breaks that we have in a run. It's a Sense Gate skip, and it utilizes the glitch that is called Death Cam. Death Cam is a glitch that allows you to trick game into thinking that you are dead while you're still alive. And by doing that, game stops loading certain meshes. Here I will set up my cursor for some menu stuff. Like I have, like for some reason, leveling up with left mouse button just is super fast in comparison using D-pad arrows. So I have left mouse button binded to one of my controller keys that I will use to level up. So there we level up 23 attunement, 10 strength, 15 endurance. It doesn't really matter that much, and 99 intelligence with all the dupes that we've done. Pretty cool. Actually, even though we are super over leveled, it's not gonna make one of the next bosses much easier. So again, speaking of death cam, so as you can see, my camera is locked in a very weird way, and textures aren't loaded properly, and there's supposed to be a gate, but there is no gates because game thinks that I'm dead and that I had died when I was reposting the follow, and that has to do with how From Software made death cams and death boxes for fall damage kind of stuff. And as I said, game thinks that you are dead, and it just stops loading certain meshes as like gates and stuff that aren't a world collisions if you are far away enough. So by doing that, we came through the gates. No! That was... Nobody's seen it, okay? So there you should walk off carefully on the cage door. And if you don't, it's not that big of a deal. You just do the alternative strat that involves RNG. But I pressed like roll and I rolled off. That was unfortunate. I honestly didn't expect that I'm gonna slide off there. It seemed absolutely fine. Yeah, that walk off on the cage door might be tricky. Well, let's do the sense gate skip again because door is still closed. This time I'll actually use keyboard because why not? So the controls in this camera mode are pretty weird because it's like a tank mode, as people like to describe it. So when you hold forward, you go forwards where your character is facing, since you don't have any camera movement available. So we go through the closed gates again without to actually disable the weird camera mode. So yeah, that was unfortunate. What I had to do there, I had to walk off carefully on the cage door, and by doing that I would do some weird shenanigans that would lead me into the same trick that I've done at the very beginning of the run. We don't really need any souls, so we do it like that. And by doing this, we will actually break the wall with the power of our shoulders. Just like that. So this shenanigans with walking off on the cage door and jumping is required because the area right before the wall is unstable ground. So if I just come close to a wall and just quit out immediately, it will store my position a bit away from the wall, and the stand-up animation will not break it. Fortunately, you can do what I did with the cage door. I don't really know in details how it works, but it has to do something with how game buffers position on the unstable grounds. So it just works. Alternatively, what I would do there, for example, if I wouldn't fall and die miserably in the past attempt after I already fell off from cage door, I would aggro the snake, and snake has 2 attacks that can break the wall. So I would just need to rely on RNG on that one. And eventually snake would break the wall if I wouldn't die faster than that. So there we pick up another soul. That's gonna be the last soul we do to get the final souls. Then we have a snake follower. Snakes everywhere. Venom snake. So yeah. Next boss, like the whole area since Fortress is very straightforward. Like there is no RNG involved at all. I did a couple quit outs in the area to reset some trap that is a boulder rolling around the place. So we come to Iron Golem, and this boss can fall off from his bridge. So he does. And that's an insta-kill. You have to deal 400 damage under his knee to make him stagger, and then 200 more to make him fall off on his butt. But again, if there is nowhere to fall, he just falls off and dies. Not the whole area is... like, not the whole arena is a place where he can fall off, but specifically that one bridge where he starts his fight at, which is kind of weird, but it's no problem for a speedrunner to make him stop, to make him stuck there. Here I'm gonna perform another glitch that involves quitting out. It's a full control quit out. And that glitch basically allows you to do things like that. You don't need to take an elevator if you can just fall off straight. How does it work? The spell fall control delays, for some reason, delays your death from a fall damage for a significant amount of time. And that time is enough for game to store your last position at the bottom where you're supposed to die. But the time window between your actual death and game storing the position at the bottom is big enough that you can just easily quit out in that window. So position is stored at the bottom, but you are not dead yet. And that makes falling off from some high objects, not objects, heights, pretty simple. So there is another difference from world record route. Originally, you would do a skip that is called SKS, Silver Knight Archer skip, that would skip the whole running section on the right, and instead I would do the death cam glitch again to go through the closed door on the left side of this place. I would deload it the same way. It would require me, like, it would require a bit of different setup, because I would have to need a lingering ring on. But skip itself doesn't save as much. And what is more important, if you go on the left side through the Blacksmith's Giant path, you can take the safe bonfire on the right. So, well, you can take, but it just will take ages to take the bonfire. So it's much easier to go right side for a marathon run and take the Peach bonfire, because the next boss in a run is Ornstein Small, and Ornstein is small. With the spells that we currently have, is amazingly bad fight. Even though we have incredibly high level, it doesn't help with how bad and RNG heavy this fight is in this route. Specifically because of Ornstein. So we use the Silver Knight Archer, sorry, not Archer, but just Silver Knight, to take the damage. And the damage we take there is to activate the red tier stone ring. We haven't used it yet. I did pick it up in Valley of Drakes, and that's a ring that boosts your damage by 50% from all sources if your health is under 20%. And now bless RNG. So we've got not the worst opener. The thing is how fight will go. Well, there you could see the beauty of Dark Souls lock-on. As you can see, this spell hitbox is amazing. And as you could see, the Hammer of Smaw is also like considered an obstacle. So nothing goes through it. Dark Souls lock-on is amazing. So if this fight goes badly, and it looks like that, it's basically a reset with an optimized run already. Would have been a reset, because I lost a lot of time there. Smaw at least a little bit better than that. Oh my god. Oh my god, I casted the wrong spell. Happens. So we bait him around the pillar. That's best we can do. He's a slow walking person sometimes, which is also bad because we can really attack him in between, not in between his attacks. But believe me, first trying this boss in this route with any speed of the fight is already an accomplishment. So there I also quit out just to skip the door opening. It would be just faster to open the door for RTA. So we kill Guinevere because it's faster. We make sure that we come close enough to receive the Lord Vessel. Not only it's faster to receive Lord Vessel that way, but also we unlock the possibility to go to Gwyndolin, and also by doing that we Death Warp now for real to take this bonfire, because we will use it a bit later on. I haven't duped though. Not a big deal. Can dupe there. So this is our last dupe. So we're gonna level up 32 endurance, 45 dexterity, and actually that's, well, 46 dexterity will do anyway. We have a lot of extra souls in comparison with the optimized run. Oh my god. So this is the NPC we saved from a cage when we broke the wall. And this NPC sells very strong spells. And also, it, like, this NPC pushes the quest line of the first mage NPC that we saved, and by doing that it updates his items for sale, and we'll be able to get second set of Soul Spears, and Soul Spear is gonna be one of the spells that we're gonna use the most. Here we come to a nest. This is the way to get to Stray Demon, back to Asylum. We just sit there like pretend like we're Nag. So here hollows can be quite a trouble with certain RNGs. That's not very good. This is fine. There we quit out once. Oh my god, I did quit out by accident. Probably too early. No, oh, holy shit, that was such a good quit out. So we quit out there just to take the fall damage to set up Red Tier Stone Ring. This fat ass boss can be sometimes a trouble. Most of the time it's very consistent. So here we get the homeward bone that we will use to not lose our souls. This Black Knight also can be an issue. If he kills you there, that's annoying to deal with. But with most of the RNGs, there is no problem. And here we go and buy the spells that's... Oh my god. So yeah, I use
Before I leave,
mouse scroll wheel in certain places to skip dialogues faster. That was one of the places, but I didn't really scroll that well. Now we were back to Undead Parish, and now we will go to Darkroot Garden. We have to buy some stuff from Andra though. We buy Crest of Artorias, Bastard Sword, and Kite Shields. So other things are useful, like Crest of Artorias is just a key that opens way to Seath and makes path to Hydra much faster as well. And shield is just the shield, right? It's useful, but it's particularly a necessity for a Calamite strat, and will be also used for Gwyndolin to reduce the RNG a little bit, but we'll talk about that a bit later. So it's an actually essential item for the routes. And the third thing was Bastard Sword. And we bought Bastard Swords to have an easy meme roll setup. And that's another glitch that we'll talk about a bit later. It will be a glitch that allows us to... it serves for the same purpose pretty much as Fall Control Quit Out. It allows you to fall from a lethal height and survive. Oh my god, where I am. Okay, I just pressed the wrong input. Got lost in the menu for a bit. So it serves the same purpose as Fall Control Quit Outs, but it's more convenient in certain ways, and it doesn't require you to particularly like cast Fall Control. It also works in a combination with Fall Control, the way that it makes Quit Outs irrelevant, but we'll see all of that a bit later on. So here I will need to equip Demon Great Hammer to receive enough fall damage falling on this bridge to be able to have Red Tear Stone Ring activated. Then we plunge. That's another combination of how you can get rid of the fall damage. I've got the RNG that I don't really like, to be honest. Makes fight a bit scarier than it should, and in my execution makes it a bit slower as well, but that's what it is. Just Hydra gently pat you in the belly. Okay, there I have to quit out to make this Crystal Golem spawn. Unfortunately, he actually iframed one of my spells. Talk with an NPC and go back. This is absolutely not confusing. Game design, by the way. So you have to quit out to make this golem spawn. Killing this golem and acquiring Broken Pendant opens the way to DLC, and DLC bosses are obviously included in all bosses. But also for this particular route, the NPC you talk with, like talking with an NPC and saying yes, unlocks the possibility to summon NPC there. And if you summon Dusk here, what does it do? It does spawn her set, armor set, nearby with the DLC entrance. But we also will buy the Hidden Body spell from her, because it's good and it's useful for us. And we're gonna use it right away. So now we go to Duke's Archives. But the problem with going to Duke's Archives is there is a Golden Fog Gate on the way. And to get rid of the Golden Fog Gate, we have to place Lord Vessel. But we're not ringing bells, or we're not going to kill 4 kings early enough to get an access to placing Lord Vessel yet. So instead, we're gonna just skip it the same way. We did skip Sense Gate, for example, using Death Cam. There is one difference with this Death Cam compared to the Death Cams that I've done in Sense Fortress to get into the Sense Fortress. The difference is that game tries to kill me every frame. You can see like the trace, like the blue trace that I leave behind, and that's fall control, saving me from insta death every frame. I'm not particularly sure why it's made this way in this particular, like it just works like that every death cam tries to kill you every frame in Anor Londo. I don't know what exactly causes it, like why they made it to work like that, but that's how it is. And there we have to go to where Golden Fog Gate is and carefully, gently walk off from the world surface to an area where nothing is loaded, and we will end up behind, like on the other side of the Golden Fog Gate, as you can see. Again, as I mentioned, to make this Golden Fog Gates disappear, you have to place Lord Vessel in a kiln, like in front of the doors of the kiln. And in order to do that, you either have to kill 4 kings and talk with Kath, which is slow currently for us, or alternatively, you can ring both bells, unlocking front and placing the Lord Vessel there. And both of the options are slow, so skip is faster in the end. So there we use our hidden body for good. So enemies are aggroed from a shorter range, rather larger, whatever, shorter range. You have to get closer for enemies to aggro at you. Then we're gonna do another skip that is called Duke Up Warp. This one skips the prison. And what is even more important, not just only skips the prison, it also will get us to the chest with the spell. Oops, didn't get it first try. Guess I rolled too late when I started moving sideways. So yeah, this is how it looks like. This is an upward glitch. On some elevators, you can be moved upward, downward, like that. Oh my god, I almost died. Good. Anyway, we are in the area that we shouldn't be able to access yet without dying to sea, then going through the prison. But also what is important, we are on a floor with this chest, and this chest contains Strong Magic Shield, and Strong Magic Shield is a magic that will make Calamite kill quite exciting for us. Okay, not dying to mage. And this is the first time we're gonna use meme rolls. So what meme rolls are is just rolling mid-air. In Dark Souls Remastered, if you have your equipment loads in the fastest mid-roll tier, which is, I believe, in, like, I don't remember the percentages, so I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, fastest mid-roll tier, you can just chain rolls while you have stamina. And these rolls, they do have the iframes. Well, because it's roll, they grant you iframes. And if these iframes are right before you land, they actually iframe the fall damage that you had to receive. Doesn't matter is it lethal or not. So there we did another full control quit out. That one is actually a bit scary because the surface you jump from is like you slide from it, and if you slide off without jumping at all, you just die. You fall into the death box, kill box, and you just die. And we would have to go all the way back from Anor Londo doing the skip to skip the Golden Fog Gate again. And the next boss is Seath. It's a very strong boss. He's invulnerable, but oh, if you break his precious crystal that we haven't even looked at, he becomes vulnerable. And we deal some crazy damage. And he dies in 5 spell casts. Very strong boss. Then we bow down. Pretty cool. Okay, now we have to clear the rest of the area here, Darkroot Garden. And the next boss on the list is Sif, Dogo. Like, I have to mention that at the moment we are pretty much already pretty overpowered. Like, as soon as you level up 99 intelligence, 45 dexterity, and we level up dexterity to be able to cast spells faster. Yes, in DS1 if you level up dexterity you actually cast spells faster. I think 45 is a hard cap. You become pretty strong, especially if you have Red Tier Stone Ring. We're not as OP as we can be yet, because we haven't acquired Dusk Crown and we haven't acquired Dark Beat. But we'll acquire both of these things on the DLC, on the way to DLC and in the DLC. And these are even extra strong to what we have currently. So we open the door, we prepare a homing soul mass just because we have enough time to do that. And Sif is a very difficult boss, as you will see. Wow. Okay, I'm not sure I ever seen none of the soul mass shooting Sif. That's interesting. So with that RNG, I should have saved one soul spear cast if all of my soul mass would hit the Sif, but they just decided to idle, and spell just didn't work as it's supposed to, but fine. I guess I was just facing the bad direction, haven't paid much attention to it. But anyway, boss is an absolute joke, just as like next boss that we will face, which is a Moonlight Butterfly. So currently we just clear all the bosses in this area before we can quit it. And one of the reasons to do so is that the bonfire that we currently have as our last bonfire is in a very convenient place. But the thing is that this bonfire can be warped on. So you basically want to do all your stuff done from this bonfire before you take any other one. And the good thing about Dark Souls 1 is that, like in next games in the series, like Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, if you use warping to another bonfire, it automatically changes the last bonfire position to the one that you warped. But in DS1, it doesn't work like that. Like if you warp to other place, if you don't see it on the bonfire where you warped, it will not be considered as the bonfire. Oh, I forgot to put Dusk Crown Ring here. So yeah, Dusk Crown Ring is another thing to mention. That's a ring that I received from killing Hydra mini-boss that was there. It's actually not the boss, it's a mini-boss. And you must kill Hydra to get an access to the DLC and the NPC that we used to buy Hidden Body from. You can see an item nearby with the portal into the DLC, and that's the armor set from Dusk. And her crown boosts magic damage from all sources by like 20% or something. So it makes us even more OP than we were. And as soon as you enter the DLC, the first boss is right at the beginning. It's Sanctuary Guardian. Can give some trouble with an RNG like that, for example. Doing a long range attack. But yeah, as soon as he gives you enough time to cast, boss dies in no time. So here we are in DLC. We don't take this bonfire because otherwise we'll have to reset up our red tier stone ring, and that's slow. And there is one thing to mention about meme rolls against full control quitouts is that with meme rolls you don't have to like reload on your character, right? And the thing is, this game has stable unstable ground positions, and as for an elevators, for example, if you go down elevator, like if you just land at the bottom of the elevator with full control quitout, you will be spawned on top because elevator is an unstable ground. And in the places like that, meme rolls are much more beneficial, not only because you don't need to cast a spell, but also because you don't have to bother about stable unstable positions because you stay in game the whole time. So one of the annoyingly RNG bosses can be very simple. It does the right things. Well, of course he doesn't. That's a very cool boss. Big fan. Okay, that was a very bad fight, but there was really nothing I can do. If you get the right opener and you don't mess up aiming your first Soul Spear, this fight can be absurdly fast. Like, he dies in no time. Like, he basically dies after performing opener attack. And that's it. But there, he avoided my first Soul Spear, he avoided my Soul Mass, then he avoided my third Soul Spear as well. Started buffing. When Artorias is buffing, he gets like an extra protection from everything, like an extra defense. So spells deal like 2 times less damage before I get this Tiger. And now we go for, I guess, one of the most amusing fights in this route. One of the things that you like watching speedruns for, something that you not necessarily can think of. So in this route, we kill Calamit without talking with Goa, because it saves a lot of time that way. And in order to do that, we use strong magic shields too. That's why I said that the shield, like the actual shield that we've got, is essential, because the shield allows us to properly block the fire breath and not die. And this boss is pure RNG. Like, he can take different time flying back and forth, and we need 3 of his attacks. Like, for example, now I got the slowest RNG I could from the first one. So there I shoot 2 Soul Spears, both of them hits. I do some ring shenanigans by equipping Duskcrown Ring to get an extra spell, because the ring itself grants you 50% more spell casts. Yeah, this is a very bad RNG so far, I'm not gonna lie. And there is nothing I can do, like literally, so this boss can lose you up to 10 seconds, and considering the overall consistency of the run, this is a pretty annoying part to deal with when it comes to a very optimized runs. At least it's absolutely brainless if you know the setup well. Your setup is very simple. So there, he's dead, we bone out. And in a couple seconds we'll receive the rewards. Yep, Calamity, Ring and Souls. So that's how you kill Calamite without talking with Goa. And the last DLC boss that is left is Manus. And on the way to Manus there is a spell that is called Darkbeat, and Darkbeat is an absolutely incredibly overpowered piece of spell that makes main game bosses a joke. Like, it doesn't work as well in DLC itself due to certain reasons, but outside of DLC, the spell is just incredibly OP. So there again we meme roll because it's not only most convenient way, but also like there are elevators all over the place, so we can just fall control quit out easily as we can meme roll. So here we kill the sorcerer, so she doesn't kill us in no time. Pick up the spell and go to a boss. We'll do one neat trick on the way to boss. Like, we're not gonna go through an actual fog gate, and every time you go through the Manus fog gate you have a cutscene playing. Instead we will parkour around and get into the boss fight arena the other way. That saves a bunch of time, surprisingly. Mostly because of the cutscene. I misread an attack, and that did cost me like a small delay. That cost me a life there. Pretty unfortunate mistake to make. If I would get lucky there, I would survive, but I didn't get lucky. So we have to go all the way back. This is one of the reasons why Dark Souls speedruns can be quite frustrating, because usually if you die you lose a incredibly big chunk of time, and it's like Dark Souls is definitely not the most comfortable game to speedrun when it comes to completion runs rate, because just completing run can be very annoying. Have to take elevator now. So basically we go through all the way back as we've came. Oops. Well, we can't do the for gate skip anymore, really. Well, I could maybe if I would take the hit from humanity, but I don't want to. because I failed swapping my rings properly. This is one of the advantages of the Dusk Crown ring as well, that when you equip and unequip the ring, it basically removes 50% of your health, and that might be useful to set up RTS. I guess I could cast the spell. Not that used to fighting this boss from a fog gate. Oof. Silly mistake again. Just rolled too early. Feels good like that. Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate RNG because I was very close to a boss. I'm not sure would I survive, like, even if I would time my roll properly, but I think I would. I would guess I would. The thing with the combo attack is, if you're very close and you are in some kind of animation, you can't roll away fully from the attack. Okay, I didn't read this completely. Hidden Body is a very good spell when especially enemies ignore it to a degree. Well, this is a Dark Souls experience in a nutshell. That one particular attack you should be taken care of by rolling from the sorceress. But I thought for some reason it's an AoE one. Well, actually, we can meme roll again, poggers. Well, third time is a charm, right? So hopefully. I actually have to say that Manos is probably the easiest boss out of all DLC bosses in this route. It's just generally in this run it's very easy to die no matter where you are. Guess I didn't have to do that. Can I cast Fall Control, please? Messed up a bit there as well. Okay, doing for gate skip again. Okay, that was slow and safe. And finally we are done with DLC. As I said, like, Manos is probably the easiest boss because he can't really give you the outcomes that are incredibly unlucky. Like unbelievably incredibly unlucky or something most of the time. And with the magic, dodging his attacks is like very simple. Except the guy who died twice in a row. Well, happens to even best of us. So there, now we go to Four Kings, and now the boss order is pretty much whatever you do. No, actually, we have to do Four Kings before we go to Nito because we want to remove. Like, that's the only Golden Fog gates. No, actually, and before Isley. Yeah, there are 2 Golden Fog gates left. We can only skip in Remastered. We can only skip the Golden Fog gate on the way to Duke's Archives. In Prepared Edition, you also can skip Golden Fog gate on the way to Fire Sage. By that, you can move like killing 4 kings pretty late. Bench skip, yeah. How could I forget about bench skip? Well, we can still do bench skip on the way to Quellag, actually. But bench skip in Remastered is absolute garbage, have to mention. So it's a meme movement optimization where you jump over the bench to get like a 1 second faster movement, pretty much. Or like a couple second faster movements. This is one of the hardest bosses in the run, because the setup for 1 king is not that easy as it can seem. Okay, I've got not the best RNG but at the start, but the attack I had for the setup was pretty chill. So even though it looked very simple, the positioning for Dark Beat cast, for the very first Dark Beat cast, is quite precise. There we say yes, because if we say no, run is not over, but it's quite problematic to deal with. Place Lord Vessel. Now we go to Anor Londo. So as I said, 4 Kings is hardest boss in a run. Well, outside of Ornstein Smough, I would say. Like, Ornstein Smough just requires you a lot of flexibility if things go wrong. And things go wrong most of the times. So, yeah, that's quite important. In that fight. But that 4 King setup is very easy to fail. Like, it takes a decent amount of practice to get comfortable with it, with pretty much any RNG that King gives you. So here I'm gonna set up RTSR ring in quite an interesting way. We're actually gonna use Calamity ring, and the Calamity ring increases the damage you get from enemies twice, like by 100%, I believe. Might be wrong about 100%, but I think it doubles the damage you receive. No, I'm not sure for some reason. Whatever, anyway, we bait an arrow from this guy to get the RTSR. This area without hidden body can be a nightmare, but... well, not really a nightmare, but can be pretty annoying to deal with, but with the hidden body it's pretty straightforward. So there is a Drake, rather dragon, not Drake, on this bridge that we have to kill because we have to go past him. Then we plunge this dragon butt. Like, it's such a weird way of completing the area. They put this butt here to like to stop progressing, from progressing forwards. But if you jump attack it, it just stands up and allows you to go forwards. So there I did quit out before Priscilla, and that's actually required for a higher chance of not getting Mon Glitch. And Mon Glitch is a hard lock of the game. Because if you one-shot Priscilla with Dark Beats, due to certain issues, you might get trapped in Ariamis forever. Just because the teleport script will stop working. Which isn't very good, but quit outs in Remastered reduces the chance of getting it significantly, and in Prepared Die Edition there was a good setup that was working very well as well. Okay, there is... Nice backstep. Yeah, this guy can be dangerous. Sometimes there can be like 2 Painting Guardians following you on these elevator stairs. But most of the times they are not a problem. And we come to a second most RNG boss in a game. Like first, well, not really second, but Gwendolyn is full RNG, pretty much. We have strong magic shield in this route, so we can actually come closer, even if we get the soul mass attack. That usually doesn't allow you to go closer, really. Then we wait for arrows and punish him in one cast. So we're done with Anor Londo for now. So what bosses we have left? We have left Capra Demon and Gaping Dragon. We have Pinwheel and Nito, and we have Quelag, Ceaseless, Fire Sage Demon, Centipede, and Bed of Chaos. And it might sound that there are quite many bosses left. It will take minimal time to kill them because Darkbeat is just gonna kill everything in 1, 2, 3 casts. No problem. Even though the next segment is quite annoying. So we do some meme parkour. Oh my god, no. That's unlucky. That's pretty unlucky that I fell through the thing. Okay. I don't have hidden body, so we'll take... Oh my god, are you kidding me? Dang, that's a typical marathon run right there. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna showcase you one of the most aids skip in a run because I failed quitting out. And there would be used a trick that is allowing you to sort of warp out of the boss arenas to the last stored position outside of the arena, because boss arena is considered like unstable ground, and for a couple frames after you beat the boss, it's still considered as an unstable ground, even though you already achieved the victory. And through that, you can do some really cool shenanigans in this area. You can go through out of bounds there, and you can do this skip that is called Gaping Foggate skip. And by doing that skip, I would get into the Gaping Arena from outside, like from really high above. And that would be neat, but unfortunately I messed up the quit out, so I can't really get back on top in any reasonable time. So we're gonna face the boss. Dang, that's a very nice cast. Oh, it was a nice miss. If I would do the skip properly, as I mentioned before, I would have Red Tearstone Ring activated from the fall damage that I would receive. And this fight would be 1 Darkbeat cast faster. So that would be pretty comfy as well. But what didn't happen, unfortunately. But I have to mention that Gaping Foggate skip is an absolutely fine skip in Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition in the vanilla game. But in Remastered, it's incredibly precise, it's stupidly precise of a jump. And it's in the second half of the run, after pretty much all the RNG stuff already in this route. And that skip loses like incredible amounts of time sometimes because of how stupidly precise it is, and it's just stupid. Like, for example, my current PB lost up to like 15-20 seconds alone to escape. And 20 seconds is incredibly a lot in terms of this run and consistency in this run. So here I meme rolled all the way to the bottom. The good thing about meme rolls as well is that you can have hidden body cast it and still perform my meme rolls, because the body buffs in this game work in an interesting way that you can't have more than one buff applied, like more than one body buff applied. So if you have full control casted, you can't cast hidden body at all. You can't even replace one spell with another, you just can't cast it at all. Same goes for Green Blossom effect that significantly boosts your stamina regeneration. So particularly in a place with Bone Wheels, it's more beneficial to meme roll all the way down, just because you have that. Comfy hidden body casted, even though sometimes they steal aggro, because hidden body is a joke, especially in Remastered. So Tomb of the Giants area has quite a difficult pathing, I would say. Not necessarily very difficult, but it's quite complicated. Like, you can't see anything in the area and you do some interesting parkour. For example, skipping Fog Gate. And skipping Fog Gate not only fast because pathing is faster, but also you skip the animation going through the Fog Gate, which is also nice. And the reason why I casted Fall Control, for example, is to get, like, to make sure that I don't get fall damage while parkouring, because... oh no. I actually managed to fall there. Oh no. This is concerning. Yeah, so sometimes you can roll off badly, too far to the right. And fall there. So yeah, the main reason why you cast fall control is to not take too much fall damage. Oh, that's a cool one. So yeah, this boss has a very nice hitbox. No. I had to wait. Oh my god. This is so stupid. I got the worst RNG you can get from Nitsu, but it's no problem. But I played greedy because I didn't believe I'm gonna take the second scream in a row. I thought I will have enough time. Like, I buffered my third Soul Spear too early when I couldn't react. So the thing is, with this attack, this attack is incredibly narrow, despite the visual effect. And if you just two-hand your Catalyst and block, attack will go perfectly in between your hands and your face. That's how I dodged it for the first time. But if he screams for the second time, as you could see, like, you obviously have to react properly. I actually could roll, most likely. But I guess I wasn't thinking about it because of blocking shenanigans. So the thing is, if he does that, my strat is to... my regular strat for that is to cast 2 Soul Spears, come close, and just cast Dark Beat. Because if he keeps screaming, it means that skeletons... as you can see, hidden body works very well in this game. Enemies are not aggroed at all. So my usual strat is, since he keeps screaming, he's standing like in the same spot, but skellies go toward you. I like to cast 2 Soul Spears and then just go and finish him with Dark Beat. But there, as I said, like, I buffered my third cast too early before I read the attack and got punished for that pretty roughly. Dude, I wish this jump was as easy, PTD. Because this slope, like jump up the slope, is incredibly easy in Remastered due to FPS shenanigans. While in original you have to be more precise with the pathing and timing of the jump. Failing the jump isn't really a big deal, but it's a very annoying thing to fail. Well, attempt number 2. Oh my god. Insane many skills right there. Okay, attempt number 2. Okay. This is how this fight should look like with the perfect RNG. Requires a lot of skill, by the way. So if he doesn't do a long-range attack, you just spam Soul Spear and that's it. Just make sure that you aren't too close for enemies to aggro, and you make sure that your Soul Spear, like the boss is in the Soul Spear range. That's it. Okay, and the last Lord Soul left is Bat of Chaos. So there we actually combine meme rolls and fall control for the first time. And how it works, if with the regular meme rolls, you have to make sure that iframes window happens when you land, like when you have to receive the fall damage, the lethal fall damage. With the fall control casted, you can land in any part of animation at all. Like, it eats any lethal fall damage and just doesn't care, which is pretty convenient. We're gonna use it there as well. And I managed to fail these meme rolls. Like, I slided the wrong way. Actually, meme rolls looked fine to me. But yeah, we ended up a little bit in a less convenient place. So we'll lose a bit of a seconds here. I actually would never say that that was bad, but I guess it was. It looked absolutely fine to me. Slopes can be annoying sometimes. The way how collision pushes you off different sides. Okay, so Quellac is an early game boss. So we don't even need like Red Tear Stone Ring or anything to make her convenience. Just have to make sure that she doesn't kill us. You can hit your body to make her stagger, to interrupt the attack, so we can safely cast Dark Beat for the second time. This is incredible. Oh, beyond incredible, I would say. So what happened there? When you jump off from any surface, you can manage your rings and your inventory. But if you walk off from a cliff, you can't open any ring slots. And what happened there, I jumped, but I accidentally, like, before I started falling down, I managed to hit a bit of a surface with my left leg. So game block the ability to open the ring slots for me, falling off the ground. And what happened, I was not able to switch my rings. Like, what you have to do there, you have to equip Dust Crown Ring. And when you equip Dust Crown Ring, your health is 50% of your main health, and the fall damage you receive is also halved due to that. My fall control ran out. That's also very lovely. Or I guess I just died, like, I don't know what happens. This one I can't explain, even if I would want to, because I never died to this fall control. That was Senzo tier death. Man, this run is such a train wreck. I'm just dying to very silly things. So I can't really explain what happened there. I either ran out of fall control, or somehow my meme rolls didn't iframe the fall damage at all from the slope. Temp number 3. Now I did quit out too early because I wasn't sure. So now we are back on top. Well, at least this time fall control will have no chance of running out. Thank you. Holy. So again, this is how meme rolls would optimally look like. Not like the first time when I slided more left and ended up in a different place. The insane poggers hardest skip in the game. And yeah, the only reason I died, like, if you think about it, the only reason I died to a fall damage when I'm failed swapping my rings in a jump is because I failed meme rolls. Because normally, if you meme roll optimally, you don't get enough poison damage to die from a fall, even if you mess up ring swap. That's why I wasn't like playing it safe or anything. I would have this amount of health plus minus and I would survive the fall. But because I had to run from a further distance away, as you can see, I easily changed my rings there. But because I had to run from a longer distance, I did receive more poison damage, and because I did receive more poison damage, I died to fall damage that normally wouldn't be lethal, so I didn't take that in consideration. Nice, I actually unequipped the wrong ring. So there what we do, we have to kill the boss that is Ceaseless Discharge. After killing the boss, we'll unlock path to the rest of the area, because for now it's just all lava. There is a ceaseless skip. It's a difficult skip. Well, it depends on what level of health you have, like what is your vitality, but normally it's like in the speedruns it's usually very difficult. But here it's all bosses. We don't care about skipping ceaseless at all, so we don't care. So, boss isn't aggroed at the start of the fights, so we can attack first, and boss is pretty wide. Oh my god. I did bone out early. Well, nobody's seen that. So now we're killing the boss, Ceaseless Discharge. You can actually skip the boss, but skip is pretty difficult by itself. It was used in Prepare to Die edition speedruns a while back, but now we can skip the boss differently. So the thing is that it's an all bosses run, you know, so we have to kill the boss anyway. In Remastered, unfortunately, Fire Sage elevator clip is not working. So you actually have to skip Fire Sage in certain routes. For example, in No Wrong Warp in Remastered. So yeah, boss is not aggroed at you at the beginning when you enter the fights. So you can hit first. So boss is that, and now lava will disappear. Okay, I don't need to change my rings. So after the cutscene, boom, lava disappeared. I managed to fail the plunge the way I never failed it. And because I never failed it like that, I didn't even notice that I failed it. Because I jumped too far left. Oh my god. So this is one of... I guess this is the only an actual plunge without fall control in the whole run. So what you do, You kidding me? Why it doesn't work? Actually, again, too far left, huh? So plunge works like if you... It uses the same principle as meme rolls. Insane. It uses the same principle as meme rolls. You iframe the fall damage, the lethal fall damage, or any fall damage, with the iframes of your roll. But the thing is that in order to be able to roll to iframe, you have to attack a surface and slide off from it. In this case, it's not that obvious that I'm plunging like a slope, so it looks a bit weird, but sometimes you would have to plunge like an actual ledge. But angled surfaces work very well for plunges. The other plunge that would happen if this run wouldn't be as big of a meme would be a plunge after next boss, and it saves like 2 seconds or a second and a half. But you know, I think I don't want to die another time if possible. So this is a Demon Fire Sage. With this opener, you can just hug the belly and boss will miss because there is no hitbox right in front of the belly. We have 3 more bosses to go. Gwyn, Centipede, and Bed of Chaos. So next boss is Centipede, and Centipede is like to a degree, how you call it, gimmick boss, because half of the arena, like more than half of the arena, is lava, and you can cut out this part of the boss and get the item that is orange charred ring, and orange charred ring is a key item that reduces damage from lava to normal values, that it doesn't kill you in 1 second. And with the magic, it's very easy to kill the boss. melee routes it's a bit more annoying because you actually have to go through some lava segments to get close enough to the boss in order to fight it. And we get in the one of the most beautiful areas, especially game design wise, an absolutely amazing place. In Remastered they at least fixed lava textures, but in original this lava just makes your eyes burn. In Remastered it looks like a sauce. So it's not that bad. And the next boss is also like pinnacle of game design from software. It's like an absolutely gimmick boss that consists of like 3 phases. And in order to go from one phase to another, you have to destroy cores on the different sides of the arena and then go in the middle and finish the actual boss. But luckily, well, the way how this run goes, I'm not sure that we'll make it as it should be done, but there is a very easy cheese strat that allows you to throw fire bombs and destroy cores by using fire bombs. There is one little downside. If you miss a bomb, strat is pretty much automatically failed. The other thing is that in this particular route, with the amount of stamina you have and lacking Green Blossom, there is just a chance of getting bad RNG and dying no matter what you do. So, and that's pretty much last boss in a run, or one of the last bosses in a run. This, we got the bomb throws. Oh my god, dude, this run outrolled with the power of God, apparently. So I've got the bad RNG. As you could see, I got an AoE attack right under myself. And that's the only way how you can deal with it. Like, just get lucky with the with when it casted, pretty much. Because sometimes you just have no space to avoid it. It's pretty dumb. At least there I got lucky in being unlucky, you know? And now this absolutely amazing God run can be slowly come to an end. It's not really important to get the RTSR there, really, because it saves like 2 seconds maybe. No, actually more. You save 2 Dark Bit cast, so it's a bit more, but it's a really not that big of a time save. So Gwyn always does the same opener unless you are a very lucky human being and you get the Bulldozer Gwyn, but even if Gwyn bulldozers, he still does the same attack, I believe, as an opener. Just the way how the attack is performed is very concerning, and the range. But Gwyn always starts the fight with the jump attack, and that jump attack can be super easily parried, and we'll deal so much damage to Gwyn that he will just die in one shot. Unluckily for him, because after the parry he also receives a bit more damage. And time will be on the credits. Takes a while for Gwyn to die, actually. time. An absolute god run that humanity never ever witnessed. This was an awful run. That's all I can say. Okay, I wonder what time did I get?
Okay, you see the time is
1:31.
1:31:46. So
This is
it's Dark
terrible.
Souls. It's, you know, I was gonna say to people, part of the Dark Souls experience is, you know, experiencing the amazing, the broken, and as well as the deaths. I mean, it happens, but I mean, I certainly had a fun time watching it, and I'm sure our viewers did as well. But yeah,
Hopefully.
GG's, dude.
Thank you. Thank you. So that was Dark Souls All Bosses Remastered. With relatively high chance I'm not gonna be running it on AGDQ since it's a backup run, but who knows? Maybe I will. Hopefully, if I do run this on AGDQ online, it's not as bad of a train wreck.
Hey man, it happens. You know, it's a tough game. I mean, you know, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I could just definitely see like where things can go from very well to, oh my god, how did this happen, like in a heartbeat. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's you know, I know what it's like to be in the waiting wings of backup runs because coming up as the final run, which is going to be run by yours truly, is going to be Metal Gear Solid 2 on PC, European Extreme, which is originally set as a race between myself and D-Limes 13. Just due to work obligations, I'll be running a solo version of that today. But I guess before I close things out on this run, any last remarks, Danflesh?
Thanks, Metal Gear speedrunners, having me on this marathon, on this small, comfy marathon. Was glad to showcase. That's actually first community, like MGS community marathon for me, and of course I'm with the Dark Souls in it, not with the an actual MGS run. But who knows? Maybe one day it will be actually something from Metal Gear series.
Yeah, we would yeah, we'll definitely look forward to that. And then, you know, I just want to thank you for running Dark Souls Remastered, and for everyone tuning in. We'll be in a brief intermission as we get set up for the next run.